I watch a lot of different men who talk about this dating women today that are professional and educated, and they always say the same thing. They all seem the same thing.
It's pretty simple.
From white men, black men, it doesn't matter. They all say the same thing. When you talk about yourself too much in the form of money and education, to us you become it's sort of like a masculine trait about you, and then we don't see you anymore as a viable candidate. We see you as a sexual person because we're not looking for that. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. We're back this week because we lied last week. But we are back. So a man named Ray Alexander, yeah, he contacted us on email, and he sent us, what he did was he did a article. What he titled it is "Are Blue Collar Brothers Unnecessarily Frustrating Themselves by Trying to Date Professional Women?" Those women that you guys know. Yeah. And so what do they call this? They called it cross-class marriages. This is kind of what they're talking about, where people in different classes marry each other and doesn't work, right? So one of the things that he said in there, okay, so is a guy who's a high school graduate that works as a long haul truck driver, really compatible with a woman who has an MBA or MBA and works as a director of marketing for a Fortune 500 company. So that's an example, is what he's saying. And so I don't know. I don't know if they do well with men who are just in kind of like a regular job, even if their regular job makes them a ton of money. Because a lot of times I think a lot of those women are looking for social status too. It's not necessarily just about, so if a woman is a professional woman, is a CEO of a company, and she married a man who's a truck driver, as he put it, like a basic truck driver, makes a lot of money. I think that there's something more to it than just the money part of it. I think that she's wanting socially, she might be embarrassed by that. Yeah. Not all, I want to say all, and you guys already know, I'm not going to say that all women are like that. And the higher educated women are not all like that, so don't get me wrong there. But I would say I know a lot of higher educated women. I would say the vast majority of people I know are higher educated. I didn't go to college, so I'm not in that group of women, so I can't I can't relate to maybe how they feel, but I think the ones that I know don't want to be around men like that, or in a relationship with men like that. I think this situation only matters for women, not for men dating that have education. For women, not for men dating. It's not a big deal. I mean, like Steve Harvey said in his book that men don't really care about your money. Every man has said this. So every man that makes a lot of money, they don't care if you work at Burger King. They're not looking for those qualities in you. I think that it only matters with women because men don't look for the same qualities in women. So with the Kevin Samuels video, with the Average at Best video, the problem was that she made 6 figures, and she felt that she needed to date a guy who also made 6 figures, but she was finding men who were in the lower end of the bracket as far as their tax bracket. Right. And he was trying to tell her that men are not looking for your money. Right. So when it comes to women aren't high value because they have a lot of money. That's a man's thing. I think women are high value with other things. I think when it comes to education, I definitely think there are men who want to date women who go to college. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of very wealthy men who date women who've never even seen a campus. Yeah. Right. Because they don't care about your money. It's not. They don't care about most men don't even care about your, they want you to graduate from high school. They want you to be dumb. Yeah. But just because you go to college doesn't mean you're smart. Right. So a lot of women that go to college aren't necessarily smart. They're just educated. So the way that they date isn't smart. But I think what happens is the general question, black men, or men in general, are they wasting their time? No, you're never wasting your time if you're looking for, if you're out there, because you never know who you can find and how you're going to find them. But I think that whenever you date a woman who has a lot, on the date, you need to be clear. You need to watch how she moves.
Yeah.
If she's putting her education, her work in front of it, and that's all she wants to talk about, then this is a woman who's probably going to never be satisfied with you.
I was seeing a guy a long time ago. He does well for himself, but he didn't go to college or anything like that. But he was dating, prior to us dating, he was dating a woman who did go to like higher education. She was, all in it. And he felt like she was trying to change him. So he's like, I think that a lot of times those women are a bit stuffy because they're, I don't know if they're just expecting too much. I don't know if that's what it is.
It's an entitlement. You know what I mean? I think that there was this entitlement to women thinking, see, this is the thing. I guess this is the way I always thought. Men and women are not the same.
Right.
So it's just like, they're not the same. So there was this idea, I guess women believe that if they had education and they had careers and they were like Claire Huxtable types, you know what I mean, that somehow it would make men respect them more.
Yeah.
Therefore, they would be high valued.
Yeah.
But what we're increasingly finding out is that men just don't care too much about, and every man that is wealthy has pretty much said that. They're just saying, no, we don't look for that.
Well, generally, also thinking, when I think about this, because when you're talking about the blue collar man, I don't know a lot of blue collar men that are seeking these types of women. Most blue collar men that at least I know are, they date within, their class. Don't really go. I mean, is that a thing? I guess it's a thing.
I think what it's more like is black women. If we're talking about black people, black women are much more. I think they're much more educated. They go to college at higher rates than black men. Yeah. So they want to date black men.
Right.
The problem is if black men aren't getting educated, or if they're not in college.
Yeah.
But they're still successful. But they're not, and you're looking for that, then. What they're saying is basically what that girl said at the average at best is that she has to settle for men who don't make as much as her because most black men don't have as much as she has.
Right.
Right. I mean, even within the numbers when it comes to how many black men make over six figures, it's low.
Yeah,
most men don't. So,
and then that's just that's just six figures. The mid range to high 6-figure men. That's percentages.
And then those men that are in that small little group of what they call high value men who make over a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
Then when they start dating, they're not really necessarily looking for your education and your money because they have it.
Right.
So they don't really care anymore. I think there is a disconnect on some level of how men and women think. I think women think that somehow, I always get this feeling that women today think that acting like a guy will get you a guy.
Yeah.
And it increasingly keeps showing you that every time we do that, we don't get them.
Yeah, a lot of women now lead with their masculine foot, and that comes to money and where they're at in their career. So usually when they're out on dates, sometimes it can feel more like an interview as opposed to a date and get to knowing someone. Because I think they feel, women today feel that for whatever reason, I mean, the facts are kind of out there, but they think that because they have so much and they're high educated and they've made it to this level, which is all a good achievements. All that's great achievement, so I'm not going to put that part down. But I think when it comes to the dating thing, they feel that that's going to help them get a man.
Or
I'm noticing that. If they
get to the 6-figure mark, they think that puts them in the pool of the same group.
Right.
And then they get to that group just to find out that those men really just aren't looking for that at all.
Yeah.
So I would say that if you have to find a person that's compatible with you. If you with someone that feels like they're better than you, then you will never be good enough for someone who doesn't. You'll never be good enough to someone who you're not good enough for.
Right.
Or someone who thinks you're not good enough for them. So men and women do this all the time. They date someone who's just, who wants more. I mean, men can do it to women too.
Right.
They want this woman that's perfection, and then if you're not that, then they keep pushing at you or they cheat on you. You know what I mean? The same thing with women. If you don't make this amount of money, if you don't have this type of education, then they keep pushing you and pushing you, and then you're just not happy. You know what I mean? This wasn't a factor years ago because it was mostly about building a life together.
Yeah.
Now it's all like you have to make this amount of money to date.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't think men should frustrate themselves trying to date these women. Are they frustrating themselves by trying to date outside of their lane, when they attempt to pursue romantic relationships with college-educated professional women? But I would assume if you're a man and you're dating a woman who's college-educated and I don't know why that would be frustrating. It would only be frustrating if she's overemphasizing a bunch of stuff. Like, you should go to college too.
Right.
You should be making this much money too. You should be doing this too. If she's overemphasizing all that stuff on the date and stuff.
But see, I don't understand people like that, because I think to myself, why don't you just date someone like that?
Right.
Why are you telling someone what they should be doing when you could just date someone?
I think that goes back to your point though, is that it's because their pool is small.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So they want to date within their race, and they also want to date, college educated. I'm for however anybody wants to date.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't see why. If you're uncomfortable dating a woman like that, just I don't date anybody I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
My answer to that is, if she's if she's down to earth and if you're comfortable with her. But if you start going out with her and you start again, like when I was watching, I watch a lot of different men who talk about this dating women today that are professional, educated, and they always say the same thing. They all seem the same thing.
It's pretty simple.
From white men, black men, it doesn't matter. They all say the same thing. When you talk about yourself too much in the form of money and education, to us you become it's sort of like a masculine trait about you, and then we don't see you anymore as a viable candidate. We see you as a sexual person, because we're not looking for that.
Right.
So we start to eliminate, like, if you become more like us, then we become less attracted.
Yeah, and
so
I think
then the only thing that's left is sex. So
and professional
women like to talk about their.
Yeah.
So that was the point. They're all saying is that whenever these men that make good money say they date these women, they start talking about their career. They become unattracted, because after a while, it's just like, well, I don't care.
And we know, what
really
is that?
About your,
I would say we know a lot of professional women, and they make this mistake often, where they think that men care about their money, their status, the home they bought, the cars they have, the education they have. I think they think that men care about this stuff. And like Kara was saying, like, I've only heard men of all classes. Men who are very wealthy, men who are not. I've always heard them just say, we don't care about your money. I mean, I would say even Kevin Samuels said this. We don't care about your money. We don't care about the education you have. I'm glad you got it. I'm not downing it. I'm not knocking it. I think men's position on it. I don't want to speak for men, but from what I've learned from men is that they don't care. And what's happening is that I think a lot of women.
If a man does care about your money, then you're not attracted to him anymore.
Right.
Because now it's almost like, because part of a man providing or protecting to you is part of the providing part.
Right.
Because that is protection.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when you stop, when as soon as a woman starts feeling like she's the same as you, no matter what she says on that date, eventually she's going to start feeling like, I don't want to feel the same.
I know, yeah.
See, we're confused about the rules.
You find it's more simple than what people make it out to be. I feel like things are a little bit more simple.
I don't have complicated dates.
Right.
But I'm just saying that I think it's just because, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching Abba and preach one day, and Abba was really mad because, or they were going on about how women don't pay for dates or something. These guys are in their 30s. So I don't know if that's a new school people. This is more for.
Yeah, because the men I date,
and when you're older, I mean, I've never ever dated men who wanted me to pay, or even pretend like I was going to. It
must be a new thing.
So I don't know if it's men in their 30s that act like that, but then that would make sense. If you're going to act like that, then it would make women think that maybe you do
care about
money.
And then so that's why she leads that way.
See, it's very confusing because we screw the rules up. We made things too complicated. You know what I mean? Women, like I said, I don't think men respect women because they act like men. They respect you because you act like a woman. Yes. The differences between us is what attracts us. It's not it's not being the same.
I don't think it's a big deal for someone to date another person that is outside their class, just class mixing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think someone who is more educated than them or has achieved more than them. I think what it is like it's the attitude of the person.
Well, but see,
You
this is,
what I'm
but,
saying?
but this is more for women than it is for men.
Yeah.
Because men date outside their class all the time.
Oh, it's all the time.
All the time. This is specifically women, and it's the reason is because women make more money. They make their own money now.
Yeah.
And so they make their own money. They have their own education, and they're not afraid to flaunt it. We were watching Sex and the City, and the character Miranda, who's the lawyer, she was trying to find a date. And so she did that speed dating, and she couldn't find a date. The instant she said she was a lawyer, and she was a Harvard graduate, and she was a lawyer. The instant she said she pretended she was an airline stewardess, she got all kinds of men. And it's only because she said, I hate that I have to apologize for my my success. But why do you have to talk about your success at all?
Yeah. But that was,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you doing that?
The presumption is that women who are successful like that, the presumption is that men are going to be intimidated by that.
And I don't think men are intimidated by that.
So
What they think they're going to get is a lot of this.
I think,
and that's exactly.
I think intimidating is the wrong word women use when they say it. Women often do this. They go, "Oh, you're intimidated by my success. You're intimidated by my money. You're intimidated by my position at, the power that I have at work and whatever, my success in general." And I think when women say that, it's the wrong words, intimidating. I don't think men are intimidated by that. I think that they know that it's going to eventually become annoying. Because that most of those women always shove something in their face. Like, eventually that's going to come up all the time. And I don't know if men want to hear the mouth all the time.
Well, they know that's what they're going to get.
Yeah.
So, like, even on the show, that was the point.
Yeah.
The point was that she's the same woman.
Yeah.
She's the same. These men are talking the same woman. The instant she said she was an airline stewardess, what they felt is that she was now going to be a woman. When you tell someone that you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
Some men like that, but the majority of men, what they think when they hear that is a woman who's going to be a know-it-all, and is going to think she's better than you, and is always going to try to trump you financially, and so that's why those professional men kept.
A lot.
She was dating professional men, so that's why these professional men were like turned off by her.
You know what I mean? You're not.
Men in their careers, that's where they shine.
Yeah.
So when you go out with them, they do like to talk about themselves a little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And their accomplishments, because look. This is where they really shine. You know what I mean? And so that's being taken kind of away from them now. And so now they have to share that. And it's becoming kind of like, oh, well, then I'm not that important.
Yeah.
So that's to me what I see when I was watching that show, that is, because the show was based on true stuff. That's why they put that show in. The writers put
Real
that
situations.
in. Real situations. And so what they're trying to say is that men don't feel I think even Steve Harvey said in his book, he said, what can we do for you then? Because we want to feel needed in the relationship. So if you can do it all, then you don't need me.
And if a man meets a woman like that right out the gate and she's already talking about that stuff, then just imagine being in a relationship with her. Which you're gonna be not the man.
And we did a video not too long ago with a guy who actually said he likes a woman. He was dating a modern woman.
Yeah,
he likes a woman. So I'm not saying those men don't exist. And I think going forward, I do think a lot of these younger guys definitely will.
They're gonna like the modern women.
Yeah, because they won't be successful.
Yeah.
I predict coming forward, women are going to be more. I hate to say it, but I think more successful because men are becoming less ambitious.
Right,
I'm seeing a lot of younger guys become very.
It's really weird too.
Watching them, like you look at a generation of men. You look at men past 40, and they're very ambitious, and they're still doing stuff. You see men under 30, 35, and they're starting to become not as ambitious.
Yeah, it's like few and far between.
They're
lazy. Kind of lazy.
Like they don't feel like really and they were even saying that the suicide rate in younger guys has risen, and a lot of it they think is because these young men don't really know what they're for. Where they belong, where they fall in this world. You know what I mean?
I think this modern kind of like men and women, the way they are, I think that's kind of they're being led both of them are being led down a path that's not good.
Do you see what I'm saying? There is a energy that they're trying to circulate, where they're trying to make sex irrelevant.
Yeah.
And so this is why we have situations like this. This is just another one where we have a question that, again, 50 years ago wouldn't even be a question.
No.
You know what I mean? That it wouldn't even really be a question. But because women are going to colleges and getting their degrees and trying to be six-figure girls, and then we've got, men who go to college as well. But there are a lot of men who just become successful from hard work. There are a lot more to me of those guys than there are the other way. But there's this whole like thing that's happening where they're trying to eliminate the sex in general. This is, like I said, this is why we're walking around calling each other, non-binary and them theys and everything is up is down and left is right and in is out, and you don't know what a woman is, and men can have babies and women, you know what I mean? It's this, all of this is to sort of confuse us about, men walk around calling themselves feminist. So it's turning into this sort of we're all the same.
Yeah, I think dating used to be very simple,
and it's gonna affect dating.
Yeah, I think it's become complicated. I don't think dating is supposed to be this complicated. Like, I get the point of this whole article, like you're saying, mixing different classes and socioeconomic. Okay, I get that a blue collar, white collar person coming together, these two people coming together, it could have some. The effects could be kind of like all messed up because they're not coming from two different worlds. They're coming from two different mindsets. How they're gonna raise their kids, they think differently with that. So most do anyway. So I understand the dynamic, but I do think that things are a bit more simple than what we're making it to be. And that it includes dating. It's really not this difficult.
I mean, like if you're Claire Huxtable, you have to date Cliff Huxtable.
Right.
But Cliff Huxtable doesn't have to date Claire Huxtable.
Right.
So I'm saying this is about women. This isn't really about men.
Yeah.
Men date outside their class all the time because what men look for in women isn't necessarily money.
They don't care about that.
They're not really interested in that. But once you're a woman that makes a certain amount of money, you feel like you can't date a guy that you take care of because now your feminine side is gone. Yeah. If you date a guy who makes less than you, now you have to be the breadwinner. And if you're the breadwinner, then that might make you feel like there's a part of you with biology that's going to make you feel like you're missing something. And so now they have to date someone who makes even more than them. So that it makes them feel. Now that's the reason why a lot of really rich celebrity women can't stay married, and a lot of them get a divorce or don't get married. It's because they make too much money, and then those guys in their tax bracket don't date women that make that kind of money. They date women that make less. It's like because that's where they shine. They want their success to be. Appreciated, and they don't really feel like it's going to be appreciated if the woman's making more than them. They feel like now they're in competition mode.
This is the mistake. This is the mistake I see women make that are highly educated women. Is that a lot of them are really nice women and just lovely women, but where I notice they go wrong is that they do think that their education is somehow important to a man.
I mean, I know what it feels like to be proud of yourself. You know what I mean? I've done things that I've been very proud of myself too. You know what I mean? But there are things that I think that just because you can do it or say it doesn't mean you should. It's not popular to say, but the truth is that when it comes to the romance of life, most women are on board with marriage.
Right.
Men are too if they're getting something out of it too.
But you're not. I don't think because men are the financial part of them, that success part of them is very important to them. I would say a man that's a blue collar worker dating this kind of CEO woman, I think that you are in some way kind of setting yourself up for a possible disappointment, because she may want you to change later on, or it may. I just find that a lot of women who are in that class of women, I feel like they are wanting eventually to have a man who is doing well like her, if not better, but mostly at least the same. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
I watched a 2020 video a long time ago where these black women were saying that it was Steve Harvey. He did it. He was just saying that these women were saying that they're all educated, black women, and they were just saying that it's hard to find black men who have gone to college, and then there seems like there's more of us going to college than of them, and then we all start dating. Everybody, it's just like this little pool of educated men who have this big pool of educated black
They
women.
really want a college-educated man.
Then the next question was, should black women just date outside their race? You know, should they just go ahead and date, you know, white men and all of that? And, you know, to that I just say, I guess. I mean, I don't see
if it's so important to you, black woman, if it's so important for you to and you're educated and you're doing well, to find someone on your level, air quotes, then because we know that most black men have not excelled or gone to college, but a lot of black men are successful. But if you need him to be that kind of successful with the college and the degrees and doing this and the fraternities, and if you need all of that, then you might have to take yourself out of that group and date a different race of man. But the men that, I guess I'm just going by, because the men that I know, that most men I know have a lot of money, like good money. They make really good money, right? Do really well for themselves, very well for themselves. Ownership of, you know, their life, their money and everything, taking care of their families. And all of these men are blue collar men. So if a black woman is not willing to date a blue collar man that's doing well for himself, I think that's snobby. You know, like I feel like that's kind of snobby to me.
I mean, if someone really wants, I mean, look, I think you should date who you want
That's
to date.
That's what I said in the beginning.
But I don't. But it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be with someone where I feel like I'm not gonna be satisfied with them.
Or somehow I'm
like,
better,
or
you know, like I deserve better, and then resent later that, you know, you can't show them off to your friends. They'd be like, oh yeah, he went to Harvard. You can't, just because you can't say that. I mean, I guess it's what a lot of women, they feel like they can't say that, so they want these educated men. They want these highly educated men.
This is only a thing. Because women are making it a thing, you know. When I was watching, you know, that movie Car Wash.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there's a black couple in a car.
Yeah, right.
And this is the '70s, so the girl, I guess he at some point attempted college, and it starts off with them just arguing in this car about him going back to school.
Right.
And then she's in college, and then they want to get married, and so she basically says to him, she says to him. She's like, no college, no marriage.
Yeah.
So she's telling him if he doesn't go to college, he's saying he wants to get started working now. What he wants to do is he wants to work hard and become successful through that. She's telling him if he doesn't get the education, then the marriage then it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And at the end, you know, of course, she comes to her senses. I do like this guy. I'm really not gonna date him because he, you know what I mean?
How important is it?
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like when you say stuff like, they can tell this has been starting a long time ago, just by that movie's an old movie. So it's just like this whole idea that, and they're black. So this whole idea that if men don't go to college, then they're not worth marrying. It's pretty much what that was trying to say, and it's showing that women were increasingly going to college.
Right. That's like the beginning of it. You know, there's a YouTuber couple I used to watch a long time ago. She's the educated woman. You know, she's successful in that. And then he didn't go to college, but he went to college because she said, you know, like they're going to be getting married. They actually got married. And so when they were engaged, he was already attending school and stuff to get his, you know, to graduate from college. But it's to her, and they talked about this. She said that it was a requirement that her husband be a college. That's a requirement because she wants her children. They have children now to understand the importance of education, higher education, and she was both parents. So there are a lot of women who really want it to match. They really want their husband to have that kind of credential there. And I don't require that, but a lot of educated women do because they want, I guess I want to say the appearance, but I don't know why would they. I don't know how important that is in the grand scheme of things. If you like somebody and you grow to love somebody, I don't know why it would matter if they went to school or not. I don't base someone's my feelings on someone for their education and their success in that way, I guess.
I mean, part of the reason why I like you would be because of your ambition.
That's it.
But not necessarily. I think that for me, is the only requirement I really have, and when it comes to like men and money, is I do want my husband to like what he does.
Yeah.
And to be passionate about what he does, because I think if a man should own his craft, and if you don't own your craft, I feel like you think you're a slave to some other person.
Yeah.
But if you own your craft, whether you work for yourself or somebody, then I think you have your own power inside, and that gives you the more of your esteem, and it makes you more masculine in that way. You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't think that I don't first of all, I don't think you have to have a lot of money to live well.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? Secondly, you know, I think this is why a lot of reasons why Kevin Samuels said, see, it was thinking like this will make you die alone. It's because on both sides though, really. Because if you're too picky and you're not even picking out your own flaws. See, this is the thing is when people write these lists of things, and they don't even see if they even match up with this or where they fall short.
It's all about
because we all tend to think we're more perfect than we are.
Yeah, I read some of the reviews on this particular book, and there was one comment on there. I'm paraphrasing this comment, but the guy said he wasn't from America, and he said this is a Western problem. And he's something like that. He said something like that. And I'm thinking, right. In every other part of the world, pretty much, this is literally this is a non-issue. This whole dating, blue collar, white collar, woman educated, man non-educated, all this stuff is just malarkey to most people in other countries. You know why? Because they simplify. They just stuck to a role, and it just works. It worked for us for years. And then we just stopped, and now we're talking about blue collar and white collar and educated and not educated, woman dating this. Oh my God, we just made it so complicated. But let's know what you guys think. Ray, let us know what you think about what we said. Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you guys care about class mixing? So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We would love that. And that's it. We'll see you in the next video.